Yeah, this is my bed. And this is the 27th level of this building here. It's a little scary when you try to sleep here. So close you are from the window, and if you do this, it kind of shakes, so it is a little spooky. It is a little bit scary to lie there, but put on the curtains, and try not to think about it. But indeed, killer view, a very, very nice view here, and this is really a lucky one. I got this booking here. It's a little bit outside George Town, and you might ask, why not stay in the UNESCO area where all the things is going on in George Town? I do have a couple of reasons for that, and I'm gonna tell you about those reasons later in this video, and I'm also gonna tell you how much I actually pay for staying at this place here.
It's easy to fall in love with the view from up here, but living somewhere isn't about the view. It's about the feeling you get down on the street. The rhythm, the energy, the people, the little things you notice when you slow down. So before I answer whether I should have stayed closer, I'm heading down there to get my first real impression of George Town.
Yeah, one thing is to sit all day working here in this high castle behind me. Another thing is actually to go out, to go downtown, to explore different things here in Penang Island and George Town. So right now we are waiting for our Grab car to take us downtown to the UNESCO area and a floating city called Chew Jetty, which is created by Chinese immigrants back in the 18th century. Hello. One big plus about staying here in Georgetown, and I think that goes pretty much for Kuala Lumpur as well. Taking Grab car, which is equal to Uber, is fairly cheap here. I believe this is a ride for like 3 kilometers, and I pay less than €2 for the Grab driver to take me downtown. So now the next question is, where is Chew Jetty? It looks like there's something right over there. It looks like an entrance to something. So let's go over here and see if we are on the right track here to this Chew Jetty thing. So let's hit it here. So yeah, supposedly this place here should be like some combination of being very touristic, being a tourist place with, as you can see over there behind me, with fruit stands, combined with people actually living here on this floating island. So when here we have I think it's a temple or something. So we're gonna go inside, cruise around and take a look and see what this is like, and just kind of sense it, how we feel about this place here. So what kind of confuses me a little bit here is normally when you have these shrines, temples around, there's a nice little sign where you're supposed to take the shoe off, but here there's pretty much nothing. So I guess you're not supposed to take your shoes off to go inside and have a look here. So let's do that. Definitely very tourist inspired in here and Chinese inspired. But yeah, it is a immigrant Chinese settlement back from 1800 here, and that definitely shows. And I guess what's rather interesting here is that people are actually living here at the same time. I guess they're living off selling souvenirs and maybe some food somewhere around here. Food stands and stuff like that. Because there's some gallery in here, some art. Chips or something, and yeah, here you can buy ice cream and coconut shape, apple juice, watermelon, and a lot of other things in case you are very thirsty. And now we're getting to this open area here. Gonna take a closer look here. Yeah, so let's move on here. Take a closer look into more of this Chew Jetty area here. And look at this. But yeah, my thought about walking around in here, you know, we have a lot of tourist stands. We have selling smoothies, fruit drinks and stuff like that. And then I'm thinking, like, what about all the people that lives here? You know, basically every time they go outside their door here, you know, they're just gonna bump into a lot of tourists here. And nothing bad about tourists, because we are all tourists to a certain degree, but living so close to it, living so close to tourists, how do you learn how to cope with that? How do you learn how to handle that somehow in tourist eyes you are, I don't know, more like an object, you know, you are part of the scenery. You participating in making the scenery the perfect experience for tourists, so to speak. And how do you cope with that? I guess that's probably one of the biggest things I'm thinking about here. How people actually handle that. Living in here, having tourism so close to them at the same time.
More localized.
I serve rice. Maybe go turn around for 20 minutes.
Ah, okay, that's a boat ride, or what is
We
it?
start from here. We go slowly until the end. We come back for the center for 20 minutes.
Ah, okay. So you,
One person is a 25 ringgit.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see like the waterfront of the boat?
Correct.
Okay. I'll come back to that one day. Thank you.
Okay.
See if I can find a quiet space here so I could do a little bit of talking. But this gentleman over there speaking in the loudspeaker, he's saying that there's a boat coming here where you go for a boat ride for around 20 minutes. You go from here and you go over to this direction somewhere over there, and you pay 25 ringgits for that. And then you see the whole waterfront here. The only thing I see this way is like a harbor, you know, container cranes and things like that. But obviously there's something to look at. There's probably a guy telling you something on the way, something very interesting. But I think we're gonna stick to Chew Jetty here and enjoying this kind of nice moment around here. It is nice to walk around here, you know, the sun is low on the sky and it's late afternoon and things is calming down a little bit, and it's kind of feels good, you know. Yeah, and looking down there at the whole fundament of this place here, you can almost see it's kind of moving when people are walking at it, you know. Then you ask yourself this question: is this place here safe enough to live, to walk? But I'm sure there are some Malaysian authorities that check up on this occasionally, so hopefully it's okay. But it does look a little bit of wobbling when you look at it there. So but yeah, sure, a lot of boats here. I guess maybe some of the people that lives around here, they're probably local fishermen, you know, going out catch some seafood. You know, George Town and Penang Island in general is very famous for its food. They say it's one of the best food places in Asia and the number one place in Malaysia to go and eat. So they're probably fishermen going out and do some catch of the day here. So, but then again, you know, when you think about it, you know, a lot of tourists mixed with local. You know, on the other hand, you know, yeah, you do live close to tourists, but you probably also make some good money on them. You know, some of these tourists are big spenders, you know, they gotta have their souvenirs, you know, they gotta have some piece of clothes locally, you know, they gotta have a fruit drink, they gotta have this and that, you know. Some people get carried away and start to buy a little bit too much, maybe. So even if you're kind of tired of tourists, maybe, you probably also realize that it's a good income that actually can secure that people can keep living here. 1 ringgit to use the toilet. And it almost looks like somebody living in there privately, but I don't think they do. And then there's a sign here saying that you don't have to take off your shoes if you go to the bathroom. They don't call it for an entrance price to go to the toilet. It's a cleaning fee. And yeah, it's very interesting to see that, you know, you have the front stores, you know, galleries, souvenirs, and something I have no clue what is. And then there's a door, and then you look inside the door, and then you see like, okay, somebody's actually living in there. Having a life in there, having their family, you know, raising their kids, taking care of their wife, taking care of their husband, you know. I guess now we are back where we came from. I think we're gonna try to go this direction there and see what there is. Then we have one more of these. We saw it earlier, this longboat, Chinese longboat of some sort. I guess maybe this is the local parking lot for some of the local living here. You know, they have to. I guess many of them have cars just like everybody else, and they need a parking spot. So maybe this area here is actually for parking your car. So yeah, as I said, it's UNESCO protected. I guess that's the way you say it. And just like Georgetown and Malacca is UNESCO protected, you know, you're not allowed to change it, you're not allowed to build on it, you're only allowed to preserve it, take good care of it, and not start to tear it down and new buildings and stuff like that. It's been like that since 2008. And yeah, it definitely attract tourists to come here and look into it a little bit further, so good thing. But yeah, it would be nice to not only to get something to drink here, but also to find a little spot where we can sit down and enjoy the drink we're gonna have. Banana smoothie, dragon fruit smoothie, watermelon smoothie, chocolate smoothie. I think I'm gonna go for the dragon fruit smoothie. Hello. Can I get a dragon fruit smoothie?
Okay.
Yes, please.
The fruit.
Yeah, dragon fruit. So,
Then again.
this one.
Then again.
So she gave me a wrong bag. She sure pointed it out very, very fast. And I think normally you pay when you actually get the drink, but here it goes the opposite way. You pay first, then she checked the price, and then she started making the smoothie. So I don't know if it tells something about maybe having a tight economy or something. You have to be careful with your incomes and your outcomes in order to stay profitable or something like that. But definitely was the price, double check the price, because first he charged me 8 ringgits and then it was 10 ringgits. But it's all good, so I'm really looking forward to try this dragon fruit smoothie. So perfect. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you. So let's see if we can find a spot here where we can sit and enjoy our dragon fruit smoothie here. It's definitely very what's called purple pink, something like that. But it's probably the color from the dragon fruit. Please, we just sit here. Well, cheers. Kind of tastes different from what I would expect it to taste. I kind of expected, maybe it's because it's the color that kind of betrayed me, but I was expecting it to be like very sweet, very sour at the same time. But it's not, it's more like you know, the flavor of green peaches. You know, when you have the bean, you open the bean, you take out the small green peaches and you eat them fresh. It's kind of what it tastes like, green peaches. So definitely some colors that doesn't match up with what you would expect this drink to taste like, but it's not bad at all. But I'll probably, I don't know, order something else next time, I think. So yeah, we have a little party going on with some, I think, local people that lives here or something. Chew Jetty, done, finished. Spent some time in there, walked around and got some good observations, I would say, especially around tourists versus people living there. So that's all good. Now we are walking towards Fort Cornwallis, which is another attraction here in George Town, and I think we are pretty near. And yeah, we are walking at this very trafficked road here towards the fort to take a closer look at what that is about. And yeah, there are some old English-style buildings right over here. It looks rather interesting as well, but we're gonna go up this way, and then we're gonna kind of switch around it, and we're gonna go backwards afterwards. So, but yeah, first we have to see this fort, what this is about. So, but yeah, what do we have here? We have Chris Clock Tower, Wass Mass, something like that. Take a look at this, guys. And yeah, supposedly it's built in 1897. So yeah, it's definitely an old lady, if you can say that, standing right here. And I believe there is some Fort Cornwallis should be down here as well. So let's take a deeper look into it here. Well, actually, I guess it's right there. You know, there's a wall, very old, very thick wall of something here. You can see right there. So I guess this is the entrance to Fort Cornwallis right here. No entry, it says right over there. construction site. So I think we have to do the Fort Cornwallis some other day. I think they are restoring it or something like that. But it doesn't look like they're doing anything actually. It just looks like it stays there. It does look like some people has been working here for quite some time, maybe. Something like supposed to be closed from 10th of November 2025 to July 2026. And we are in the month of April now, so maybe in 2 or 3 months it should be open again. But to me it doesn't look like somebody's working there. Looks very closed down. But I see something very interesting over here actually. I see, I think it's a mast from a ship that you can see there behind the trees. I'm not sure if it's something you can crawl up in if you want. Pay 50 ringgits and do a little crawl there. Oh yeah, quite amazing. Big. So I guess it comes from a sail ship. Not that old because it's not made out of wood, it's made out of metal, iron. And yeah, the big question for me is whether if George Town is a place I can stay for like a month, maybe even 2 months. That's the first one. And the second one, if it's a place I would like to come back to repeatedly. That's the two factors that is important to me. Because I do like slowing down travel, you know. For me, it's not a question about, you know, get as many stamps in my passport in as fast as possible, you know. See 5 different countries in 3 days, you know. I'm not into that type of travel. I like to slow down. I kind of like to walk around and feel the place, you know, interact with local people, try their food, not only see their culture, but stay long enough to feel their culture. That's what's very important to me. But then again, if it doesn't trigger from the beginning, you know, then I should not come back to that place or will come less frequently. And currently I have, as my places I come back to, I have like Chiang Mai, I have Bali, I come back to, I have Da Nang in Vietnam I keep coming back to. And yeah, the question is if this can be a place I would like to come back to repeatedly as well. And for me, it's still a little bit too early to tell. I've been here for like 1.5 weeks. I have 1.5 weeks more left here before I go to Bali once again. So for me, it's a matter about, you know, feeling things out, you know, explore, expire, the inspiration, see how I feel walking all these local places, and then figure out if it's a place I will come back to again. That's very important for me. And yeah, I kind of like circle around it. The question is why I'm staying 3 kilometers away from the UNESCO area, when it's in the UNESCO area that everything is happening, you know, all the local stuff is happening. I'm gonna get back later in this video and answer that question a little bit later. But first, let's take a look around here a little bit. It looks very promising. And actually here we have a big green field. I guess you can call it for a park. Big square where people can have a lot of different activities. Play ball with their families, they can lie down, get a little nap. And yeah, just enjoy life for a little bit. Feels good, feels good. Actually, I think last time I was in a park was in Manila, the Philippines. In the center, I was in a park. I think that's the last time, and that's like 6 months ago or something. It kind of feel nice just standing here, you know. You hear the traffic in the background, and you hear a lot of children playing. And then it's just like relaxing. here today, I was a little hard on myself because I spent some time in the afternoon working on my website. And it turned like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4:30. And I hadn't even taken a shower yet, and I wanted to go out to do some videos today. So like, okay, now it's really starting to get late, but I'll say now I'm actually lucky that I did, because here, this location here is the perfect timing right now, with the sunset in the horizon going down, and it's cooling down a little bit. The temperature is not so high anymore, and yeah, we have a lot of people around here, enjoying this Sunday evening. So it's very nice actually to be here right now at this moment here. So. And yeah, we have a food corridor here as well with a couple of places open. Not all places, but a few. And yeah, a lot of people sitting in there and enjoying their meal here.
One thing I've been trying to understand about Malaysia, it can feel like a country of different worlds living side by side. Malay, Chinese, Indian, local traditions, different languages, different rhythms. Sometimes as an outsider, it feels like everyone moves in their own lane. And maybe that's why this surprised me tonight. Standing here on the waterfront, it feels like all those lanes cross for a moment. Families walking together, kids running around, people laughing, tourists, locals, everyone sharing the same evening air. And funny enough, I've seen more of Malaysia in this 1 hour than I have in days of walking around trying to figure it out. No deep conclusions here, just one of those little moments that shift your impression. And honestly, I think that impression deserves a cold beer. So, after spending the day down here, I think staying outside the UNESCO area was the right choice for this trip. Don't get me wrong, I really like it down here. There's history, there's energy, and there's always something going on. But when you stay somewhere for a few weeks, you start looking at things a little differently. For me, it's nice having space, a kitchen, a place to work, and options. There's a gym in the building, which is nice, but I still found a local gym nearby because, they have heavier weights. And simple things matters too, like being able to do laundry without even thinking about it. So for this day, this place made sense. I'm paying around 250 euros per week here. And honestly, for the view alone, I don't think that's bad. And the best part is, George Town is still close enough when I want to come down here, walk around, eat something good, and explore a little more. And in the next video, that's exactly what we will do.